then regarding Cade's injury, it is not good, not positive. I was suspicious of that the other night. He's got an ACL injury, so it's going to have to be repaired, and he'll be out for the season. Stay with the team, be supportive, and continue to be a part of our team. But it's just a really tough break, and a really tough break considering the last 2 years for him. He's had more than his share of obstacles and challenges from a health standpoint. You just your heart goes out to guys when they're fighting hard to have a chance to go out and compete and don't have that opportunity due to health challenges. But good news is he should be fine once the recovery's over, and again, just a tough deal for him.
With Cade, has he given you any indication with that last year of eligibility remaining whether he'll use that and stay?
Yeah, I think his intentions are to come back and play next year again, so that'll be great. And it's a long road in front of him, but it's a lot better than it was 30 years ago, that's for sure. A lot more predictable, and he's got a great attitude. He'll work hard at it.
Has he already had the surgery, or is that planned?
No, it'll be sometime next week. They normally let those things settle down a little bit. If there is good news, it's a clean injury. It's not, sometimes they can be a little bit messy, but it looks clean. That's good. And he's been fighting some other stuff too, so at least maybe this will give him a chance to just get totally healthy again.
I have to imagine the team was expecting maybe bad news since Saturday. Now the news is confirmed. Just how is everyone kind of offensively moving forward there?
Well, you have to move on. We didn't have any time to think about it Saturday night, obviously, and I thought that was one of the highlights of the game, is the way the team just kept playing. Deacon stepped in and did a really nice job. And not a big surprise. We've seen great improvement with him in the last 8 weeks, but Cade's missed a lot of practice time. I've referred to that. So that's helped him move forward a little bit. But, during the game, you certainly don't have time to reassess or think about it, and I don't think our guys really have done that since then. The worst part about football is the injury category. Easily that's the worst part about it, but it's also a reality. And when those things happen, everybody's got to keep moving, and you're empathetic towards the people that are out and affected by it. But everybody else has to keep moving, and it's an opportunity for somebody to step up and get the job done.
How much does this open up your offense? Because it appeared you were a little bit limited by what Cade couldn't do running the ball, whether it was boots or naked bootlegs or anything.
Sneaks. Yeah. Trick plays like sneaks. Yeah.
Push and all that.
Yeah.
But how much does this maybe open it up a little bit more than, although it did look like he was starting to be able to do that?
That's the unfortunate thing. The last week and a half, 2 weeks is the first time it looked like he was back to being close to normal. But it's hard to get healthy in season 2 when you have, things that are kind of significant. So, at least in this situation, Deacon's fully healthy, and he has been working hard. He's really improved a great deal, and I thought he played with good poise out there, first and foremost on Saturday. Made some good decisions, but played with a lot of poise. And, now the trick is to keep building on that. So, he's got a different skill set, certainly, but he's fully healthy, and I think he's more than eager to keep playing here.
You got a guy in Joe Lavis who won you a game in the bowl. How ready would he be to step in if something goes wrong Saturday, and how long a leash, I guess, does Deacon have this Saturday?
Well, first of all, Deacon is our starter, and then secondly, Joe has basically he's in the same situation Deacon was last week, so he's one play from going in. And, the challenge for him right now, he's missed a lot of time too. It seems like to be a recurring theme here, but missed a lot of time in July and August. So he's playing catch up in some sense, and he's working hard every day. And the fact that he did play in December, practiced and then played, I think gives everybody a little bit more confidence. Certainly, it's always good when you've seen a guy out there perform under pressure. And but now, he's trying to play catch up and get back in the race here, and we're going to need both those guys. So it's his job to be ready to go.
Back in August, where did you see Deacon improve where he had to fill in for Cade?
Yeah, it's. Both those guys didn't play last year, and Deacon, it's been a couple of years really. So that's probably the biggest thing for him is getting in games and actually playing, or scrimmage situations, those types of deals. So it doesn't get much more live than it did Saturday, and I thought he did a good job managing things and making good decisions for us. And now it's all about continuing to do that and take steps forward. And this is a big challenge. These guys play a different, unique type of defense. So. It's not the same as what we saw, but it's, again, another challenge, and, every week's going to be a challenge. I'm sorry.
For Cade, as you mentioned, during the summer, he spent a lot of time not really doing full practicing. Now that he's injured here, is he sort of back to a similar sense of filling in where he can in practice, or how are you keeping him busy throughout the rest of the season and I guess for the next 9 months.
You're talking about Cade? Okay, so the first thing he's got to do is he's got to get that knee addressed, and that'll be the next 2 weeks here, working on that. And then when he comes back, it's a long, lonely road for any player that's injured. Luke's going to go, or is going through the same thing right now. There's the rehab part of things. And, Mother Nature's got to do their part and all that. So that's pretty much regimented, and you go as fast as your body will allow you to. But I think it's pretty obvious right now, depending, where we're at here, mid-October, by the time he gets his surgery. I can't imagine he'll do much in the spring. Other than, maybe he'll be throwing a ball, things like that, but he won't be practicing. And then hopefully he'll have June, July, and then August full speed to go. And if there's good news here, hopefully both legs are healthy and he's able to be the Cade McNamara he wants to be. So that part's that part. And then the other part is, once he gets back here, and he's doing it right now. He's out there every day and, in the huddle and helping the guys out, staying engaged. And he'll do that as soon as he, finishes the surgery part of things. And he can be immense help. He's played. He's got experience. He can be a good voice for the quarterback room and then also help his teammates. And I know he's committed to that. I mean, he got voted captain again this week, so I think it just gives you a little bit of feel the respect he's already garnered from everybody on the team.
With Deacon, whether it be in the spring or leading up to the season, like did he ever rip a throw or something that kind of opened your eyes to his arm strength?
As you saw, he can throw the football. Like that's not an issue with him, and that's his strength. So yeah, I mean, he's made some good plays, and he's made some that weren't so good, but that's an experience, and that's how you learn. That's how you get better, and so yeah, he'll make some good throws. He can throw the football.
Yeah, I know it takes a village to raise a quarterback, if you will. And, with him, he's got people from his past, whether it's Keller Christ or Bud, and then also Spencer and Cade are here, and Ryan. How do you help him move forward, but not overwhelm him with too many voices? And
I was going to say that village might be too big. I mean, you don't need 5 guys to coach one guy, and I think basically when it gets down to it, there's the voices are pretty much filtered out, and the biggest thing is him just trying to take in what he needs to take in, and each week it's a different challenge, it's different preparation. These guys play a much different style of defense than what we saw last week. There's always some commonality and parallels, but it's a different flavor. So that's a challenge we're running during the game weeks. But he's done a great job. He's really attentive. He's a smart guy. He works at it. And that's probably the key element for everything. And I think he's hearing the right things. And it's just a matter of every repetition is going to help him, and certainly game reps will help him too now.
We talked a lot about that arm strength. We've heard a lot about it. Is there anything else in his skill set that really sticks out to you?
Yeah, we don't tackle our quarterbacks in practice, but I'm guessing he'll probably be a challenge to tackle. It's going to take more than just sticking your hand up there. So at least that's probably a good thing. And just the mental part of things. He's really, I think he's a lot more comfortable. Just with every part of this thing, even calling plays, which sounds pretty simple, but a lot of people do them off cards and things like that. So it's a little different repertoire for him.
How much there have been many quarterbacks that you've recruited that have a water polo background?
No, yeah, that's a fair one. Zusevic was a volleyball player, which I think was a first too. So, two areas of uniqueness for anybody.
How much does his mobility help the offense and what you guys want to do?
Yeah, I mean, it makes it a little bit easier to have more flexibility. And as I said earlier, I think we're getting there with Cade too. So it just helps. It helps if your quarterback's not a stationary target back there, and that makes it a challenge. It makes it things that are hard seem even harder sometimes. And I went through that in '93 with a veteran quarterback. Unfortunately, it was at the end of his career, and it's tough when a guy can't move back there. It's really hard. It's hard on the guy. It's hard on everybody. It's hard on the guy.
Kirk, the first thing everyone said about Cade was he's a great leader. Do you feel Deacon is stepping into that role? How do you feel the guys are responding to it?
Yeah, totally different personality. Totally different personality. But I recognized him in the locker room afterwards for next man in, stepping in, and doing a great job, and just keeping us moving forward. And the players were just really responsive. He's very popular with the players, and again, night and day difference in terms of personality, and that's one of the beautiful things about this sport. So yeah, he'll do just fine. The guys want to play for him, they respect him, and they're all pulling for him.
I know this might not be your area of expertise, but you have two.
Probably not.
All right. 2 non-contact injuries for Cade. One in August, one. Do you have any concerns about maybe the playing surface on the turf versus grass? I'm not sure if you know anything about that one way or the other, but Just any thoughts?
Yeah,
on that?
I'm totally a novice in that regard, but I would say I think that's probably an overstated. You know, I know it's probably a little bit more of a big discussion item with the NFL world, but I have not looked at that and all that. I can just tell you from experience. You know, I'm old enough to where, you know, it was AstroTurf every day out there in the 80s, and I'm talking about the old AstroTurf, which is kind of like this carpet right here, and about the hardness of that. So, you know, I've seen it all. It's the same way at Pitt in 1980, every day in Pitt Stadium on old AstroTurf. And somehow we had a pretty good team, and not many guys got hurt that year. So I don't know the answer to that, but I think sometimes that stuff gets overplayed, and in some cases, and this is particularly true, it seems like the last, I don't know, 10 years, it's unofficial, maybe 20. A lot less. In the old days, it was knee injuries because guys fell on guys. Now it's a lot of times it's just, you know, making a cut or a planting, that type of thing. So it's hard to predict or quantify what causes injuries. Really, you know, if you do stupid stuff, yeah, I think we all get that, but sometimes it just happens.
From his size, do you see any parallels between Deacon and Chandler and Stanley? I mean, just the three.
Yeah, those would be our three biggest guys. That's probably right. I really haven't thought about it, but yeah, without click, but yeah, it's probably a good starting point, those three guys. And, you know, Stanley wasn't a midget, but he wasn't quite in that category.
I meant Stanley, Nate Stanley.
Yeah, or did I say, Stanley and Stanley? Yeah, okay, they're all big guys.
Any parallel between their games aside from their big dudes with big arms?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll learn more as we go along here. I don't know enough about Deacon and game action yet to really, you know, make commentary on that.
With Deacon, how much of an improvement do you think is feasible from what kind of first week with substantial snaps to second week? Now
I hope there's improvement week to week to week to week. But, you know, part of growth sometimes is going backwards as well. You know, I think everybody needs to be realistic on that. But yeah, our hopes and expectations are he'll go out and play better this week than he did Saturday. Should be smarter. He's a little bit more experienced. But it's going to be week to week, just like any player. But he's got a great attitude. He works hard and he's practicing well. So that's all you can ask anybody to do.